takes to be a true Scot? Let us show you.
It means interacting with and serving our community, and paying it forward while living responsibly.
It means wearing a kilt at every home game.
Making the world my classroom.
It means being a part of a larger community.
It takes putting in the extra work to get the W.
Being a Model UN superpower.
Hello, everybody. As myself and there's everybody else, as everybody joins in, welcome to A Scot's Life. This is going to be a really awesome opportunity for you guys to interact with some current students here at Alma College. We'll be able to answer some of your questions, and it'll just be a good time for you to learn a lot more about Alma. Before we start, I'm going to ask that you guys please ask questions. When you have questions, just type them right into the comments on this event, on this post, and we will get to as many of those as possible, hopefully all of them. But without any further ado, we will all introduce ourselves. My name is Hank. I actually am a recent graduate from Alma College. I am getting ready to go do my student teaching this fall. I was a double major in education and English. I was on the men's lacrosse team. I worked for the school newspaper. Obviously, I worked for admissions as well. And so, yeah, how about Lene? How about you introduce yourself?
My name is Lene. I'm a junior at Alma. I am a psychology major and a biology minor. At Alma, I'm part of the symphony orchestra, and I also work for admissions.
Abby?
So my name is Abby. I'm also a junior at Alma. I'm a bio major and a psych minor. I'm involved with a couple different things on campus. I'm the vice president of our iGEM team, which I can talk about a little later. I have a job in admissions as well. I'm a tutor for the intro bio classes. And I'm also a KCP mentor this year.
Awesome. And we might be getting joined by another current student. Chelsea might be joining us at some point, and when she gets here, we'll have her introduce herself. But to give you guys a little bit of time to think about questions, I'm going to start us off. Abby, what is your favorite thing about Alma College?
I honestly want to talk about like the academics and kind of just like plug how awesome our professors are. They care so much about you. Our small class sizes make it really easy for you to engage not only with your peers, but also your professors. You end up getting really close with them. Going to their office hours, not only to just kind of like talk about the material that you're going over in class, but also just talk about life and just honestly hanging out with them. They'll bring you food before exams and invite you over to their houses for like post final week and stuff like that. So honestly, the professors, the faculty, the staff that we have on campus is phenomenal. They really do care about you, which is really, really awesome.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite things throughout my 4 years. Just being able to like text my professors or like getting a happy birthday post on Facebook from a professor. Like I always liked that aspect of it. Yeah. Lene, what was your favorite thing about Alma?
I definitely want to talk about like the family aspect of Alma. Like I come from a small high school, so definitely coming to a big college was not it for me. So when I saw Alma, like I just love how everyone literally cares about each other. Like how Abby mentioned, like professors, like they'll text you like to come over to their house. But same with students, like students that you haven't even talked to, like they'll say hi to you on campus. Like everyone is just so friendly there for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And to answer that question myself, as an athlete, my favorite thing about Alma, again, on top of all of that, what both of you guys just said, is that family atmosphere. And I loved going to home games and cheering on my friends that I had in classes or just people that I knew on campus. And then being on the field and looking into the stands and seeing all my friends from my classes and things like that, seeing my professors at my games. It was really, really fun to be an athlete at Alma and feel that support. Absolutely. And so Caroline has asked us a question. What was the biggest challenge that I overcame during my time at Alma? For me, in the very beginning, like as a freshman, I had to learn how to ask for help and how to say no to things, which are really just like life skills. But Alma really helped me out with those things. I was always pretty good at like school, and I had to get a tutor my freshman year and like really spend a lot of time, with my professors and getting that extra help, which was all available to me like super easily. So, getting used to that and then saying no to things, because I'm the type of person where I want to be involved in everything and do everything and have 3 different majors and do all that. And so I kind of had to learn how to like slow myself down and figure that type of stuff out. What about you guys? Have you challenges that you've had to overcome at Alma, Abby or Lene?
I think the biggest thing for me was just like you're able to build your schedule. So last year I had half days every single day. I was done before noon. I had one day where I had no classes. That's a lot of time that I can spend doing not homework. So I think like being able to like use time management and really balance and finding like a good balance between doing homework and also having time for yourself. And like you were saying, Hank, that's all a life skill. But stuff that Alma, I mean, they have resources that will help you with making sure that you do have that right balance and stuff like that. So that's the biggest thing that I've faced so far.
Yeah, absolutely. Lene, what do you think? The biggest challenge? And you guys are both not even done yet. You both have like 2 more years halfway done.
I guess my biggest challenge is also like learning to say no for sure. Alma has definitely taught me, because my freshman year I joined mostly every single club that I wanted to, and I wanted to do everything all at once. And then I was like, well, you should probably still eat and probably still sleep. So I definitely did learn like time management also, and then learning to say no. So I'm only a junior. I still have 2 more years left. So this is just
those challenges you guys haven't been done yet. Yeah. Well, cool. And so, Lene, I was going to ask you more about the orchestra. What was that like? Performing arts and different things like that. What is? Can you just like talk a little bit more about that and what it's like at Alma?
So I love the performing arts primarily because you earn a scholarship and you don't even have to major in it. So that like I never had intentions of majoring in music. So but when Alma told me like, oh, like you play the viola, you can still play the viola at Alma and earn money for it. Like both, like the best of both worlds, literally. So I love the orchestra too, because like not everyone is the same major. Not everyone is a music major. Like my STEM partner, she's a history major and I'm a psychology major. So you learn all of these new things, and like you meet so many different people. I love it. I love to make music. I love going to the concerts. I love being in the concerts as well. So I love the symphony for sure.
Yeah, I was actually just about to say I loved like going and seeing all the performing arts, all that type of stuff. Going and seeing the choir or seeing the band or the orchestra or anything like that was always fun, because it's the same thing. Like I was talking about with athletics, like people that are on stage and you get to see them in their element, which I always thought was cool. And it was all free to go to, which was always a bonus, right?
Yeah,
it's free for me to go and see you play. Yeah. Well, cool. Another thing, Abby, you were talking about iGEM. Can you explain a little bit more about that? You said you were going to.
Yeah. So iGEM stands for International Genetically Engineered Machine. And this is kind of, to sum it up, a genetic engineering organization that we have on campus. So to give a little brief overview of what we're doing this year, we are focusing on the Pine River. So for those of you who don't know, the Pine River does run through Alma and surrounding communities. And to be honest, it's kind of gross. So what we're doing, we're hopefully going to be making a biosensor, which pretty much that means we're just going to throw some dirt in a bag with this little biosensor and shake it up. And if it changes to a different color, we know that there's toxic chemicals in there, and that soil or water is going to be ready to be treated and trying to get it back to normal. So that's what we're doing this year. Each year we do travel for the Jamboree, so I'm wearing my Jamboree shirt right now. But We normally go to Boston, so this year it is all virtual because of COVID. But next year we're planning on going to Paris, so we are extremely excited about that.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah,
Oh.
very cool. So we have another question in here about a place the students can go to help grow professionally or get help with classes, and then or places to go regarding mental health. And I know that the first two, well, really the first two things there, helping you grow professionally and getting help with classes. We have a place on campus called the Center for Student Opportunity, which is basically your one-stop shop for like most things that you need on campus. So like tutoring, for example, you can go there. Abby, you are a tutor, right? Which is a job, which is really cool.
Yeah.
You can get a tutor for free. And like, I know from experience, it was like kind of amazing how easy it was. I just had to fill out a piece of paper and then turn it in. And I got a text like 30 minutes later from my tutor asking me when we could meet up and go do stuff. So that was really helpful. But the Center for Student Opportunity not only has those tutors, but that's a great place to go where they do like one-on-one resume building workshops. They can help you write your cover letter. They do like practice interviews and things like that. So if you have an interview coming up, they can help you find jobs and internships. So that's kind of like our career center. And a lot of times the cool thing is that those are students who are sitting down and working with you with those things. So they're getting really good hands-on experience, doing the whole business and career stuff, which is really cool. As far as getting help with classes, I know there's a bunch of different places to go. Obviously, like I just mentioned, tutoring. But then another cool thing is like advising. So you'll have a faculty advisor, and that's a professor usually in your major. And so they'll be with you for all 4 years, and they can help you out with, scheduling your classes, staying on top of your classes, helping you out, helping you find resources, helping you find those internships and different things like that, and those research opportunities. Have either of you guys done research, or are you doing? Or Abby, you're doing research right now.
Yes, I am. Yeah, that's something
I thought for just a second, because we're going to talk about that because that's pretty cool. And then regarding mental health, you do have a spot on campus, the Counseling and Wellness Center, which is right by the football field, and that's a great place to go. They have free counselors in there. It's kind of like a little mental health center. They are really, really helpful, really supportive. They also put on a lot of fun events. So like they do things like they bring therapy dogs to campus, or they're doing different things to help students out with like exam week stress and stuff like that before those final events. Yeah, very stress relieving events, exactly. So pretty cool. But Abby, do you want to talk about that research, because you're doing that right now, aren't you?
Yeah, so I've had a couple experiences with research on campus, especially for the freshmen who are watching this, and for future incoming freshmen. There is something called the Spire. So that is a camp that you would do, a research camp before you move in the fall. You're coming into your freshman year. And I did that when I came to Alma. Super awesome. Was able to get hands-on experience with our botany professor. And then also this summer I was involved with CORE. So that is a paid internship position at Alma. And there's a lot of, I can't remember how many like students total, but a lot of students do this, and they've actually expanded not only from science, but also into the humanities as well for CORE. I am running a research project right now that will follow how COVID-related anxieties affect your GPA, and also this using your genetics to see if you have a disposition to COVID-related anxiety. So that's kind of like a little summary of what I'm doing. But there's a lot of different internship possibilities, like research possibilities on campus. You have the opportunity to have your research published as well. Being able to go to jamborees like iGEM, or even to different conferences to present your research too. That's all something that, especially if you're in the sciences, that's something you're going to do at least once before you graduate, which is awesome.
Well, that is really awesome. We've been talking about your research all summer, and I never actually knew exactly what you were doing, and that is so cool. That's really awesome. Yeah. So those research opportunities, wow, like I'm like floored right now. All right, that's really cool. So we have another question here about at what point in your high school years did you start researching colleges and looking at colleges? And when did you know you wanted to commit to Alma? Lene, do you want to jump?
Yeah, so I started researching schools about my junior year of high school, sort of like the casual search, like searching like schools in Michigan or like schools if I was interested in out of state. But that was sort of like a casual, but like once I was like really like, okay, like it's time, it was probably like the summer of junior and senior year, and then the fall of senior year is when I started applying to schools and doing like even more like dense research for sure. And then when did I know that I wanted to commit to Alma? Probably it was after I came back home from Scholar Summit. I remember it was my first time on campus. So it was the Scholar Summit, which is like an interview that we do for additional scholarships. And first of all, the interviews are very laid back. Don't get so scared when it's like interview. It's very laid back for sure. But yeah, I did a tour also, and I did my audition for the symphony. And then when I came home, I was like, like this is it for me. Like I felt you feel like a really good feeling when you know that that's the college for you, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Abby, what about you?
I pretty much knew I was going to come to Alma. I visited once and I was like, okay, this is awesome. Like, I love this. I think we've kind of all touched on it, but everyone at the college is so nice and so willing to get to know you. And that's something, especially I toured bigger schools like U of M and I'm trying to think of like other bigger GVSU. And it just wasn't as personal as it was at Alma. So our tours are mostly one-on-one, and you're able to meet with an admissions rep one-on-one, and everything's just very personalized to you, and we want to have you be the most successful version of you that you can possibly be. So after coming on campus, I was like, yeah, this is it. This is it for me. Absolutely love it. So yeah.
Well, cool. Yeah, I'm trying to remember when I started looking at colleges, like during my junior year, I think, of high school. And then that summer, so I grew up in California. I don't know if I mentioned that or not, but so I grew up in California, and I knew I wanted to go to school somewhere in the Midwest. And so I don't know, don't ask me why, but I was like really dead set. I was like, I'm going there. I don't know, it's like a new land for me. And so I checked out. I took that summer before my senior year, and I did like a 2-week long like tour of all these different colleges all throughout Michigan and Ohio and Illinois and Wisconsin and all these different places. And I kind of felt bad for all the other schools because the minute I stepped on Alma's campus, it was just like a gut feeling. I knew that this is where I wanted to be. And it was just like you said, Abby, from start to finish, they really rolled the red carpet out, and they do that for everybody. And they make it known that they want you to be here. And that's absolutely the case. And I definitely felt that family atmosphere, and that was a huge thing for me. And so I totally fell in love with it. I was not prepared for the weather, but I fell in love with the school for sure. Coming from California, I'd get used to the snow big time. Well, cool. Let's see what other question we got. Do you have a favorite event that takes place on campus? Abby, do you have a favorite event?
Oh, geez. I think kind of touching on like the performing arts aspect of it, being able to go to these events. I mean, if you're not involved with athletics, then you're probably involved with performing arts. And if you're, vice versa. And then if you're not involved with either, like me, everyone who's in choir and in the orchestra and in band and all these things. So I think it's just being able to go to those events that are put on by our students, like athletics or performing arts. I think those are so awesome, and to see what they've been doing with their free time and being able to see like the beautiful things that they produce is really awesome. So I don't think I have one in particular, but definitely just like being able to support your local, your local Alma family.
Lene, what about you? And you're not allowed to say like an orchestra event. That doesn't count. You were in that.
Let's see. I guess one of my favorite events that occurs on campus is Fiesta Baile. It's hosted by Hispanic Coalition, also known as HISCO. It's basically just a whole big event of free food and to express how many Latinos and Hispanic cultures we have on campus. and we just make so many different foods of either whether it be Guatemala, El Salvador, Mexico, and stuff. So free food, dancing, music, lots of events. One of my favorite events to attend to for sure.
Yeah, I think I went all 4 years for that. So fun. Yeah, and it was always cool because like if you were like in a Spanish class and then you like were speaking Spanish at this event, you got like extra credit, which was always sweet. But yeah, I love that.
I remember I remember my physics class in the fall. My professor was like, if you go to Fiesta Baile, you'll get extra credit in physics. And I was like, well, I'm going, so
Go eat some good food and get points. That's right. What's better than that? As far as events go, I think mine would be we do this thing every fall called Throwdown in A-Town, and that's a really fun event where the athletic department and all of the athletes at Alma's campus kind of come together with the community. And it's right around like Halloween time in the fall. So we do like a big trunk or treat event where there are different like teams that do different things downtown, which is super fun. And all the kids are all dressed up, and it's really just a good like community event. And then I believe the next day we have this big giant pep rally, throw down in A-Town, and all of the like people from the community can come and check that out. And there are different stations where the kids can interact with some of the current athletes at Alma, and that's really fun. Yeah, and then it's this big giant pep rally that kind of kicks off the school year. And I really liked it this fall because I got to like host it and be the MC guy, but also because it's just a cool thing. It's cool to see the community and the college kind of all together and like excited about the school year. And then they do a lot of fun stuff. Like all the coaches do like a dodgeball game, and there's like a dunk contest, and with the basketball team and all that type of stuff. And it's just a lot of fun. Well, cool. Let's see what questions we've got. What makes Alma different from other schools? That's a really good one. Lene, you wanna answer that one?
Yes. So what makes Alma different? Literally, I want to say everything, but I know I have to be specific. Like I said, family, everyone is willing to get to know you personally, especially professors. They will literally try to get to know you, and first of all, like get to know you, and also like make sure you succeed in their class. For sure. What else makes it different? How small and cozy it is, for sure. Like the city of Alma is small itself, so having a small college there in a small city for sure makes it cozy and very welcoming.
Absolutely. Abby, what do you think?
I mean, kind of plug iGEM again. Just saying, like, there's only 3 iGEM teams in all Michigan. We beat both Michigan State, so we're the superior iGEM team. So obviously that, but also on top of that, just like I think the rigor of the academics here at the college, like being able to be challenged in every single one of your classes, and really having to put the effort in to get the grades that you want, and the grades that you get reflect really what you learn. And I think having those professors there, being able to like kind of be your cheerleaders along the way, is just really awesome. So I think that would be the thing that really sets Alma apart after coming here for a couple years and being able to compare to other colleges that my friends go to.
Yeah, definitely. I have always thought that the most unique thing about Alma is our calendar and the way that our school year lays out, which is kind of cool. And so like, we have like our typical fall semester, which is 4 months or like 14 weeks, September to December. And then we have we call it winter term, which is like January through April. And that's again, like 14 weeks, pretty typical semester. But then we have this thing called spring term, which is just the month of May. And it's just one class for 4 weeks. And so you have to take a spring term 2 out of your 4 years at Alma. And those classes are either on campus or off campus. And like, when I say off campus, I mean in like London or in China or in Costa Rica or Hawaii or Disney World, all these other places. And that spring term is really cool because, like I said, it's just one class. And so I was able to really benefit from that one of my spring terms that I took was an on-campus course. It was chemistry, and I'm like not good at sciences at all. So chemistry, I was able to knock that out in 4 weeks, and it was my only class. I could really focus on it. My professor was able to really help me out, and that if I would have tried to take chemistry during a regular semester, I would have definitely struggled. And then I got like an A in that chemistry class, so pretty excited about that. Have either of you guys traveled for spring terms? Not yet.
No.
No, I was going to this year, but COVID.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
hopefully next year.
Yeah. Hopefully next year or your senior year for sure.
Yeah.
The travel spring term that I took was probably like the coolest spring term ever. So again, I'm going to be a teacher, and I took an education class called Teacher Leadership, and we spent the first 3 weeks of class on campus learning about all this cool like instructional technology and different like teaching methods and all these different things. And then we at that fourth week of class we went to Disney World, and we spent a week on the resort in Disney, doing all the fun Disney stuff, going to the shows and riding the rides. But that was all kind of in the afternoons. In the mornings, we were doing these great seminars and trainings and different things with like behind the scenes with like the corporate Disney people, and learning how they communicate and lead and how they make Disney an experiential learning place and how we could apply that to our classrooms. And so it was like the most helpful class as like a future teacher. I just learned a lot, but then it was also like the most fun thing I've ever done, going and staying in a resort in Disney. I had never even been to Disney World, so it was so exciting. I still have like my first visit button and everything like that. Like it was just really cool. So to answer the question of what makes Alma different and unique, I think, that academic calendar and the opportunities that you have for that spring term are pretty cool and pretty different from other schools. And I know so that was last May that I took that class to Disney, and I had to choose between that Disney class and the backpack filmmaking class in Italy, and then also the Shakespeare class in London. And I was having the hardest time trying to decide. It was so tough. So all these really cool opportunities for travel, which is pretty cool. So I have another question kind of ready to go. And this is a little bit less like academia intensive, but what's your guys' favorite food place on campus or in town? Favorite spot to eat? That's like the most important thing. At least it was for me when I was in college. Where am I going to eat? So you have like a favorite food spot?
So for me, I had a night class last semester. It was 7 to 10 p.m. And after that, I would go to Joe's and eat like 3 grilled cheese sandwiches. So they were able to provide. What'd you say?
Grilled cheese at Joe's is so good. Nobody knows about it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. So I would have to say Joe's, just because they came in clutch so many times helping with my grilled cheese. They always have cookie dough. That's like a huge popular thing. So they got Dippin' Dots. I tried Dippin' Dots for the first time at Joe's. So
yeah, that's awesome. And they're open until midnight, right? Yeah. So like after class and late at night and stuff. That's sweet.
Yeah,
Lene, do you have a favorite spot?
I would also have to say Joe's, because I would eat at Hamilton Commons, like for my regular dinner at 6 o'clock. It would be like 10 p.m. and I'm like, we need to go get a snack because we're starving. So I would head to Joe's, grab the infamous chicken nuggets with fries.
Yes.
Those they hit the spot for sure.
Never got tired of it.
Yeah.
For all the chicken nuggets. I think my favorite spot to eat is actually like a little bit off of campus. I always like to go to Serendipity. There's a spot downtown. It's like frozen custard and donuts and cookies and all this really good stuff. And we can use our meal plan there. So that was just a nice little bonus. But it was so good. Like the best stuff ever. Like root beer floats and all these different things. I've got a big sweet tooth. So that was probably my favorite place to go. So we have another question about the Posey Global Scholarship. Have either of you guys used Posey Global, or do you have a friend that's used it or know a lot about it? Kind of what those P Globals are all about.
I have not used a Posey. Have you used a Posey Global, Lene?
No, I have not.
Okay. So I have a friend who has, and she's a nursing major, and she was able to use her Posey Global and go over to Africa and stay there. I think she was there for 2.5 months. And she lived there. She helped in a hospital, so she was making sure that people had all their immunizations, and all of them were up to date. Pretty much doing like nurse things, I don't know, like what you would go to your primary care doctor for, and she was helping with that at the local hospital, which is phenomenal experience, especially for her being a nursing major. She was able to get a lot of those clinical hours under her belt. So, and the Posey Global paid for her entire stay there for the 2.5, 3 months that she was out there in Africa. So super, super cool deal there.
Yeah, pretty cool when when you get to travel and it's kind of like paid for. You get a big scholarship to go and do it. That's pretty sweet. And speaking of which, I forgot to mention this, and you just reminded me of that. Thinking about traveling and all that stuff, all those spring terms that we were just talking about, and like especially those travel spring terms. There's this awesome program called the Venture Grant, or like the Venture Program. But you get this Venture Grant, and the way I've always described it is it's $2,500 that the college basically says, please go use this and do something awesome. And it's really used to fund an experiential learning experience. And so basically to get you out of the classroom. And so a lot of those spring term classes, you can use that Venture Grant. And like I said, $2,500. So for me, I actually used the Venture Grant for that Disney class. And all my travel, all of my hotels, everything like that down in Disney, all my food, everything, we got matching t-shirts and everything like that. All that was paid for, which was really, really cool. And I know that's the case for a lot of those spring term classes. I also know you can use that Venture Grant to fund, like, let's say you have an internship in like a city that you don't live in. Really cool, because that Venture Grant can go towards like the rent and food and things like that. And ultimately just, use it for awesome experiences. A lot like the Posey Global that you just talked about, which is super cool. We have another question. How do you get involved in student organizations? So I know you guys are both involved in a whole bunch of stuff on campus. How do you get involved in that type of stuff? Lene, what kind of stuff are you involved with besides the orchestra?
Yeah, so I was part of the Hispanic Coalition Club, and I was also part of the Psychology Club. Basically, there's like this big event that it's like a fair, basically, like a student organization fair, and all of the clubs are there. They're all trying to get you to join, and it may seem overwhelming at first, and you may want to join all of them because they all seem very, very cool, which they are very cool. But they sort of give you information, what they do, what they're about, what they stand for, and if you're interested, you sign up, and then you get an email from them to go to their weekly meetings.
Pretty easy.
Mm-hmm.
I know that there are certain things like on-campus jobs or different things like that that are really easy to get involved with. It's just a simple application on our online application thingy.
Mm-hmm.
And because I know I worked for the school newspaper, which was a job, but honestly felt like a club. And I was like, I'm not sure I should be getting paid for this, but it absolutely was a job, and it was super fun. And that was something I just had to apply for online. And it was a really, really cool group to be a part of. Writing for the newspaper for 2 years and then becoming an editor. It was really cool just to kind of know what's going on around campus and then use some of my English skills as an English major to be involved in that. So absolutely. Abby, are you in any clubs or organizations or anything?
Yeah, other than iGEM, so I was in a couple my freshman year, and after joining iGEM, that's kind of became my main focus. But yeah, like Linnea was saying, there is a fair actually this Friday on the 21st from 9 to 11 p.m. And all of our clubs and organizations are going to have booths. And yes, we would love all of you guys to join our clubs. So that's definitely probably the way to go at first. And then if you get on campus and you're kind of feeling like, okay, I can join a club now, kind of got my schedule under control and everything. There's going to be signs and posters to join things everywhere. And you would, at that point, I mean, with COVID this year, we'll probably be doing a lot of things virtually, but all that information are going to be found on posters and stuff around the college.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I was gonna say I always feel like I found out about stuff through just the walls and the bulletin
Yeah.
boards and things like that for sure. And I do know that we have like 80 clubs on campus. And if there's one that you have an idea for that doesn't exist, making a club or starting your own club, I believe you need like 3 or 4 members and a professor's signature. So I know like my freshman year we had the squirrel watching club and then it kind of disbanded, and I've been trying so hard, like begging people to like someone become the new president of the squirrel watching club. Um, but cool. So dorms. So when do you guys want to? I mean, I can kind of explain a little bit of what our housing looks like. So we are a residential campus, so we provide housing for all 4 years. And your first 2 years on campus, you have a couple different buildings to choose from, but it's like your typical standard residence hall that you would imagine. The nice thing is they've all been completely renovated, and they're really, really nice on the inside, which is pretty sweet. But those are like kind of on one side of campus, all actually surrounding the dining hall. So your first 2 years, you're like right next to the dining hall, which is sweet. But yeah, 2 buildings for freshmen and 2 buildings for sophomores. And then your junior and senior year, you have a lot more options for like houses and apartments and suites and different things around campus and like around town. A lot of which is owned by the college. So like, for example, my senior year, I lived in an apartment in downtown Alma. So like a good, like couple blocks away from campus. And it was 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom, like full living room, full kitchen, everything like that. And it was pretty sweet. And it was owned by the college. So I just had to pay room and board and made things a lot easier for me. But yeah, and there are a bunch of different options for houses and, club or suites and different apartments and stuff like that. As far as finding a compatible roommate, you guys both did the like roommate. Did you guys both do like the roommate questionnaire?
Yeah.
Because that wasn't a thing when I was a freshman. So Lene, do you want to explain that a little bit and like how you find your roommate?
Yeah, so we have this new semi-new program where it's sort of like an online dating, sort of not like dating, but like we're gonna find our roommate. So you fill out like this application and basically you talk about yourself. Like, are you a morning person? Are you a night owl? Like, do you like your room clean? Do you like your room dirty? Like, how do you, I don't know, like how do you decorate your room and stuff? And so based on what you search, it finds you people like students that have similar like personalities, like how to live and stuff. And then if you research them, and then there's like a little contact information. So if you really want them to be your roommate, you just find them, whether they can put their Facebook, their Instagram, their Snapchat, and then you just contact them. And if that's the one, then that's your roommate. You pick them. It's not like a blind roommate picking anymore.
Yeah, that's really nice, and that seems to work out pretty well. That work out for you. You and your roommate get along.
Yes, I ended up becoming best friends with my roommate, so I love her to death.
Yeah, look at that. Well, if nobody has any other questions, I'll give it like another 30 seconds or so in the like chat room thing. If anybody has any final questions, but in the meantime, anybody that's on here and wants to check out Alma and learn a little bit more, I encourage you all to go and schedule a visit. It's all online on our college website. And yeah, go take a visit and check out campus for yourself and see it all and experience it all and meet with professors and do all that great stuff. And do some research and check stuff out. There's a whole million different Alma College YouTube videos and different things like that you can always check out. But if nobody has any other questions, I believe that is our time for the evening. Thank you for everybody that was here, and this is going to be on the Facebook page, so it can be referenced back to. But yeah, the bathrooms, good question. So I know in the 4 underclassmen buildings, and then we'll say our last goodbyes after this question. But I know in the 2 buildings for freshmen and the 2 buildings for sophomores, they have these, and they're actually kind of it's a cool thing since they've been renovated, these private individual bathrooms. And so those are, like there might be, let's say in your hallway, there might be like 4 or 5 of these individual bathrooms. I've heard people compare them to like a hotel bathroom. So it's got a shower and everything in there. They're actually really, really nice. And it's like your own bathroom, but it's just at the end of the hall and you don't have to clean it, which is pretty nice. They clean it every day for you. And then once you hit junior and senior year, some of those options that I mentioned, or all those options I mentioned as juniors and seniors, you get to start cleaning your own bathroom and you have your own bathroom and everything like that, which is pretty cool. Makes it a nice little system. But yeah, that's an excellent question. If nobody has any other questions, thank you all for joining us tonight. I encourage you to go and check out Alma for yourself and go and see campus. And this has been a whole lot of fun. Thank you guys.